In a previous video we looked at doing all of these expansions with a rectangle. Now we're going to look at how we can start off with something and we can put the brackets back in, which is called factorizing. So here I've got x squared plus 6x plus 9. Now I'm going to fill in some of the things. Here this is 9. Do that again. Here it's 9. And up here is x squared. Now that's because I know that when I did the bracket before, when I did the expansion, I had x and x. Now I need to fill in two numbers here and here that will multiply together to give this 9. So I'm just going to think about that 9 a minute. And that 9, to get these two numbers, it could be 9 times 1 or it could be 3 times 3. Now I'm going to go with 3 times 3 because those two numbers will make this 6 here, because I know that I've got to have these two numbers adding together to give me the 6x. So 3 and 3. So when I come to put these into brackets, it's x plus 3, x plus 3, the perfect square. Now you can double check that, or you can expand those brackets and you get back to where we started. So that's a nice simple one to start with. Well, let's have a look at this one here. Same method. I'm going to put an x here and an x here, which gives me the x squared. This number here is 10. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply together to give me 10. Now we have some choices here. We can have 10 and 1. We can have 5 and 2. And you can see here that I've got 7 in the middle. So I'm going to go with 5 and 2. And this will give me the 5x and this will give me the 2x. So now when I factorize and I put the bracket back in, I'm going to get x plus 5 and x plus 2. Moving on, let's have a look at a more complicated one. Now the reason why this one's more complicated is because of this negative in the middle here. So I'm going to start off with x and x squared. Now I want the number here to give me 15. Well, initially I'm thinking there's probably lots of choices. There's 15 and 1, and there's 5 and 3. But neither of these numbers will give me this negative 8 here in the middle, which is a bit of a problem. So what about if we had negative 15 and negative 1? That would still multiply together to give 15, and so would negative 5 and negative 3. So I think if I made this one negative 5, then I would have a negative 5x in here, and if I made this negative 3, I would have a negative 3x in the bracket. So now I'm going to say this can be factorized into x minus 5 and x minus 3. Last one. You can see here I've got minus 24 here and minus 2 here. So these two become x's, they're both x squared. I want minus 24 here. So really do have a lot of choices for factors of 24. So these factors of 24, what could they be? Well, I could have negative 12 and 2. I could have negative 2 and 12. Now both times I want this middle numbers to be minus 2, so I know that these two have got to add together to give me this minus 2. So neither of those work. So let's keep going. Let's go with minus 3 and 8. That doesn't work. Minus 8 and 3 gives me minus 5. I could have minus 24 and 1, and I could have minus 1 and 24. None of those work. Perhaps I could use 6 and 4. Now if I make the 6 negative and the 4 positive, then I would have negative 6x here and positive 4x here. And these two will give me the negative 2. So this is going to give me x minus 6 and x plus 4. Now this is a good way to think about factorising x squared to begin with, and once you get a bit more experience with these, you won't need these boxes.